Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Tuesday morning. I don't know how much it really adds up to, but I think Seth Posner has saved me some money, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Seth is here. Seth is with AA Lock, Dock, and Security, and so we're going to talk about locks and security. And a few months ago, you gave me a key that has a little light on it that I can use to open my front door. And here's how you saved me money. Are you ready for this? Because if I knew in advance that I wasn't coming home until after dark, I would just leave the front porch light on. Now, I don't leave the front porch light on because I don't have to have it on because I have that little light on my key. So if I'm home, let's say 6 hours after it gets dark, let's say, what time would that be, like midnight?
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
And it happens that way sometimes. But you add it up. And all those hours of electricity, I don't have to pay for anymore because I got this little light on my key. So you didn't realize when you gave me that key, you save it. I didn't realize it.
Energy efficiency.
Good morning,
That's what
Seth.
we're all about.
Where have you been? We haven't seen you in forever.
Oh, wow. Well, we spent 6 months in Orlando working on that student
Have you
housing
been working
property.
out? You're buffed up. I don't remember you being this buff. Did you work?
Yeah, I've been working out here.
Your arms look bigger.
No.
No.
Just that stress level, because that property that we were working on had all kinds of crime and everything. So we've been able to cut down the crime since we've finished the camera installation down there.
Wow.
Well, how does
600
the
cameras.
camera stop crime? Because the bad guy sees it and stops?
Well, in this particular property, they weren't able to keep the residents under control. So, if a resident could cause whatever damage they wanted to the property, and they just got away with it. Now that there's cameras and they're able to go back, view the footage, and see who's causing what damage, and they're able to hold people accountable. They're able to
Really?
kick people out of the property.
I'm not moving in there. What's wrong with these people?
I guess when you get drunk, then you'll do stupid things. But
that sounds like a place where they need to screen their tenants better, maybe.
I know now they've said that they've made money off the camera system because they've been able to fine residents, and they've actually been able to kick residents out, give them eviction notices, and so
Really?
they're working on cleaning up their property. 600 cameras, they better get something
600
out of it.
cameras.
Certainly.
600
Wow.
cameras.
Wow. And where is that, in Orlando somewhere?
In Orlando.
Wow. We don't have any communities like that in Ocala, right? I mean, everybody behaves here.
We definitely don't have anything on that large scale.
Isn't it interesting, though, how we'll see a camera and we'll behave?
Yes.
Yeah, but there has to be some of those cameras probably aren't very visible.
Every
To the
camera that we
actual-
installed was...
Oh, they are
Oh, yeah.
visible then. So
And it was funny because we had cameras up and they were live, and people were still doing stupid things right in front of the camera, feet away from the camera.
Is that right?
wow, so you would think that the proprietor of the property would want to have cameras that you really can't see. But now this, I guess it doesn't matter.
Covert cameras will absolutely have their place and purpose and place, but on a property like that, you want it.
You want them to see the cameras.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you
just
want
like-
the deterrent.
It's just like when you go into a town, when you drive into a town and they don't have enough of a police force, they'll put a police mannequin sitting in a car. There's no...
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever
Yep,
seen that?
I've seen that plenty of times.
You just drive in and say, "Oh, I'm slowing down." Oh, it's not even a real guy. But then by then you've already slowed down.
You used to have that up in Waldo all the time.
And where?
In Waldo.
Oh, in Waldo. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have any problem with mold on the cameras itself when you install them? Because some buildings, they seem to attract mold.
No. No, because all my cameras are either IP67, 68, or 69 rated, and the IP rating means water resistance, shock resistance, waterproof, shockproof, stuff like that.
Oh,
You know what's crazy? You'll go on videos on YouTube and you'll look and it'll say ghost. They show ghost at the gas station, and so you look at the surveillance video and you can tell it's a spider crawling on the lens. It's like, gosh, they think it's a ghost. But you can.
Actually, there's a lot of companies that have. The shop that I was at before I moved to where I'm at now, one of my cameras, you look up and you'd see this thing crawling across the
Is that
screen.
me or you?
That's you.
No, that's you.
That's my phone? Well, it doesn't show me anything. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. I should have turned it off.
But
So
yeah,
you're
that's
saying
just the
about the
freaky.
spiders
Yeah,
and
that's just a weird, freaky little thing. When you see a spider crawling across your screen, you're like, "What is that?" And you're just looking at the underside of the spider.
Right. Yes, yes.
And, but yeah, there's a lot of the camera companies now are actually putting some kind of a deterrent. I don't know if it's kind of a chemical or something that keeps the spiders away from them.
So cameras are a huge part of security.
Oh, absolutely.
And because we can look at them on our phone. You've told us this before, right?
Yes.
So when you do install massive amounts of camera like that, is there one room that's dedicated just to having one or two people in there to doing live surveillance all the time? Or do you have recording equipment going where you don't have to have a real person there? How does that work?
That all depends on the application. This property that we did, it's not being monitored live. So in like airport security or mall security or whatever, they actually have somebody that's sitting in a room that's monitoring all the cameras live and making sure that everything is going smooth. On this property, they can't man the whole system. So if there's an issue, then they go back and pull the footage.
Wow. We have a phone call, so if you put your headset on, you'll be able to hear your caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Seth Posner.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. With the surveillance camera on a gate to a gated community, would lightning be a problem of knocking that out every so often? We had some people that we talked to that had that situation, and it's with all the electrical storms that get here in Florida. Every so often they had trouble with lightning knocking their camera out. Is that a problem here?
Absolutely. You got to remember that lightning can hit anything, especially the copper. And if it's hitting the ground and then traveling through the copper, it can absolutely take out a camera.
Is there any way of protecting the camera from that and trying to get the bolt to go somewhere else?
Sure. We have surge protection that we can put at both ends of the camera, so on both ends of that line. So if lightning were to travel across the copper, it's going to hit the surge protection. And there's a good 90% chance it's going to take out the surge protection before it ever touches the camera.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
That is an important thing because that's an investment when you're putting in those cameras.
Absolutely.
So you want to protect them.
Absolutely.
We need to take a little break, and we'll be right back. If you have a question for Seth, you are invited to call. It's a live show today on March 15th, 2016, Election Day, by the way. So we'll take a little break and be right back with Seth. The number, if you want to call, is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds, the high 82 at the coast, 88 inland. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy early, and areas of low clouds and fog late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Low Tuesday night 60 to 64. Later Wednesday, partly sunny, high 84 to 88. Thursday, warm with clouds and some sun, high 80 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Check it out, Ocala. The azaleas are in full bloom, and that means right now is the best time to stock up on azaleas for your home. Right now, Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens has a truly outstanding special on dwarf, ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Anywhere else, you'd pay $5, $6 or more for these beauties. But during Bob Wine's truckload sale, they're yours for just $2.99. You've got to see these beauties. During Bob Wine's truckload sale, you pay just $2.99. Looking for indoor foliage? Then visit Bob Wine's genuine old-fashioned greenhouse. Tons of indoor decor, including Boston fern hanging baskets, priced as low as $9.99. Tree deal, too. Buy one at Bob's low discount price. Get a second tree just like it for half price. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, minutes from anywhere and not far from the Villages on Ocala's easy southeast side. Daily till 4, closed Sundays. Bob Wine's, homegrown, locally owned since 1952.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet. Ocala's Got Talent, happening in May, but if you want to get in on the running, you need to apply. The dates are March 12th, 19th, and 26th from 10 to 6 p.m. each day, and the location is at Mojo's on Southwest 17th Street. Do you have what it takes to shine and stand out in what you do? Well, there's only one first place winner for Ocala's Got Talent, and it could be you. Audition fee is just $25, and spectator fee is $5. This helps the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. Questions, call 352-595-7100.
All right, 60 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Seth Posner is here from AA Lock, Dock, and Security. And if you have a question about security, this is a good time to call 622-9622 to ask Seth the questions you have on the air. And, of course, you can call Seth anytime at his office, which is
867-1965.
And call us if you need that repeated. You know when you really start to realize you need security is when you're home alone and you think you hear somebody at the door and you're not sure. You know, that's when you say, I should get a camera. I should get a light that comes on by itself. I should get a better lock. All those things come to mind when you're in those circumstances, right?
Absolutely. It's always when something happens is when you start thinking about adding the security or adding that extra level of protection.
Yeah, yeah.
We've seen this thing on TV where it's like a fake doorbell and there's a camera there, and then that alerts the person on their phone, and that person talks to the person to pretend they're home, but they're not answering the door. Doesn't that make the people that are there kind of like, well, they're not really home anyway? Something like that. If you actually talk to a speaker and
Can you
not
come
go
to the door
itself.
It'll take me a day or two.
Well, I mean, there's so many applications right now as far as being able to remotely open your house or remotely communicate with somebody. Or, I mean, I had a device for my garage door, so I could open my garage door remotely, and I could see every time my garage door opened or closed. I got that alert on my phone, and I got one for my my in-laws. I gave it to them, like, And we were down there this weekend, and they said, "Man, this thing is amazing. You know, you don't realize how much you enjoy, getting those alerts and seeing when your door's open and being able to watch your own property."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is that the Achilles heel of a home? Is the garage door? Is that the easiest place to break into a home?
No.
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 It seems like it is. No. What is the Achilles heel to a home?
It's
a window.
A window.
Window.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do to secure the windows?
Not much. I mean, if they're going to get in, they're going to get in. They're going to break a window. They're going to break the glass on the door. I mean, the more that you do to prevent them from getting in, the better off you are. But ultimately, if they want in, they're going to get in. So having those cameras, having that the extra locks and security on your house, that's what everybody needs to focus on.
When you have different locations that you're putting cameras in, whether they're public buildings or maybe on somebody's property somewhere, does that determine the size of the camera that you put on there?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can go with a wide angle lens, a 2.8 millimeter lens, and really get to watch a large area with one camera. We can change the lens over to a 4 millimeter or increase it to a 6 millimeter, and it's just now we can just start zooming in with a particular camera and focus.
Oh, then
on
you
a
have higher
specific area.
resolution and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh God, that's what I always wonder. Like when you see the surveillance pictures in the newspaper, this is the guy who held up the Jiffy. Does anybody recognize him? And it's like, hello. I mean, it's all blurry and it's like the top of his head. They've got a bad angle. They should put those cameras on the cash register, I think.
The angle is it's because a lot of people are trying to do a lot with very little. And we get that more times than you can shake a stick. Is they want one camera and they want to be able to see the whole world
Everything.
with one camera.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta spend a little bit extra money just to start diverting those cameras to watch specific areas.
So there was a story this morning I want to ask you about. The story was about, I think it was Amazon or Google. One of them is going to allow you to pay for your products rather than entering your personal identification number. You just take a selfie. It'll identify your face. It's got face recognition technology, and then you're qualified to pay for the product just by looking at your face. Have you heard of this?
No, but that wouldn't surprise me that that's a area of marketing that they're trying to go after now.
Yeah, it was in the news this morning. So I see this as your kids come home from school, the camera knows it's them, it opens the door, right? Or you come home. Anybody else who comes to the door, it doesn't let you in or maybe it alerts the actual owner or something. That facial recognition stuff is going to change the way we live, I think.
Unfortunately. Is it something that I'm a fan of? No, but I'm
because
not
it could get you wrong. What if your evil twin brother came over?
They've got many areas of cross checks and balances to make sure. It's just like fingerprint reading. It's got to scan it so many different times in order to be able to make sure it's getting a valid read. And facial recognition is no different.
I'll have to find that article for you so you can see it for yourself. Because maybe there is, because it did say a still picture or video. So maybe if it's not sure, it says, well, move around a little bit. See if you move the way we recognize. I wonder if they can do that.
Sure, with technology the way it is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You put cameras...
You're going to have to go back to, I'm sorry, you have to go back to that place. All 600 cameras are going to be changed.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go back to Orlando.
Do you put cameras in like tour buses? Because you see those chartered tour buses all the time. They take people here, there, and everywhere, sometimes across country.
I have not installed any, but I mean, we absolutely have mobile equipment available to us now.
Oh, okay. And also those like dash cameras and things you can put in.
Becoming much more readily available.
Oh,
so what is the most common call you have? Just to replace a key, like for a car, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Because in the commercial you say, and I've always meant to ask you this, why does it actually cost so much money? Like to replace a car key cost a lot of money, right? Like $180.
Or more.
Or more.
Or more.
And that's because?
The electronics. Because as everything has migrated into the proximity, the push to start, the remote controls cost quite a bit more. The programming equipment costs more. So now we're not into a $100 application to make a key for the old-fashioned General Motors or Ford vehicle. Now you're into $10,000, $12,000 piece of computer equipment just to program that key. Now you're into a key that's going to cost $100, $150.
Really?
So our expenses have gone up drastically in order to be able to make that key.
So Robin's mom got a new car, and the key has the fob attached to the key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then if that key gets lost, I mean, that's got to be an expensive key to replace, right?
With the remote attached to the key like that, those are running right now about $295.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I just did one this morning at 8:30 this morning. Made a key.
So is it easier? Is it easier to make a copy if the person has the key, or is it cheaper? Maybe it's a better way to say this. Like, let's say you had no key. I lost my key. I don't have a spare. I need one made. What do? Take the VIN number?
It depends on the vehicle. Some of the vehicles will just go ahead and make the key from the door lock, make it from scratch. Then we'll go ahead and cut it and program it. Some of them require, a lot of the vehicles now require a programming code. So even once we get the key made, it's still we have to log into a manufacturer's website, which costs us a subscription every year in order to be able to get that programming code. Without that programming code, you can't do anything.
So would I protect myself if I had the key like Robin's mom has? Would I be wise to have one made now before I just hang it up somewhere in a closet?
It costs half the money to have a spare key made.
Okay. And that whole fob thing, that's a programmed thing. What about the battery in the fob? Does that ever go dead?
Oh, sure. Now, with these new cars, if it's a push to start, the dashboard will actually tell you that the battery in the key fob is getting weak.
Oh. So do you have to plug it in to charge it up every night,
No,
or you
it's
just
just
wait
a
till
standard.
it dies?
Most of them are standard 2032 coin cell battery.
Oh, and it needs
Oh.
that in order to start the car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And we can buy that ourselves, like at
Yeah,
Walgreens or
any of the
anything.
parts stores.
well, it's got a little screw in, or take
Some
it
of
apart?
them just, most of them are all just snap together. Some of them do have a little tiny screw, but most of the new ones with the push to start all just snap
So
together.
I don't have one that attaches to my key, but I hate these fobs, by the way. Because I accidentally push it all the time. My car horn starts beeping. I don't see where there's a way to open this up. So how do I open up that? Not that I want to.
Actually, if you look at it real carefully, there's a little slot right here on the edge of it. So you just get a little coin or something.
Just
and you
pop it open, and that's got a battery in it. So if my fob stops working, I can do it myself?
Absolutely.
Oh.
See, most of your standard key fobs where it's just independent of the key, those things you can get 3 to 5 years before you have to worry about a battery. But the ones that everything is integrated as one piece, and it takes a lot more energy to make everything work. So you're on the average about a year and a half before you're replacing those batteries.
If someone wants to get one of those push button things on their car, but they don't have it, like when you buy it from the dealer, do you install that too? Those code things, or is that just strictly from the dealer?
No, they actually sell a lot of them now online as aftermarket accessories that you can install, and they can be programmed, and some of them are wireless, that they're real simple to install. I haven't ventured into that. I haven't really seen the need for it because we do replacement remote controls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those remote controls would be better then for people to do.
I think so.
To have that instead of going through all that extra expense.
I mean, a code is a code is a code. Anybody can. There's only 5 digits, so there's not many combinations.
There's
that
no
you can come
common
up
code?
with. Well, I mean, I would imagine that people are going to do simple things, and if a 1 and a 2 share a button, and 3 or 4 share a button, then it's your combination really starts.
Like in the old days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you could walk down the road with somebody's garage door, with your garage door opener, and open everybody's garage door.
That's a funny story about that. I had to go rekey locks on a house, and the guy had a big apparatus sitting by the front door. He had just bought this house. He didn't know what it was. I'm looking at this thing and figured out that it was a key lock box that somebody had so they can put an extra key for the front door. Well, I have no idea what the code is, but I just looked at it and was able to actually open the thing up just because of the fact that same concept. You only have 5 buttons. If you look at it enough, and you can identify just by the wear of what they're utilizing to open it.
Oh.
So he's like, "How'd you do that?" But we were able to get it open, got that key out
Can
of there.
you say how you did that, or was it like a psychic thing?
No, I mean it was
An
literally
intuitive
just
thing?
No, it was literally just by looking at the unit and seeing the wear on each button, because if you only have 5 buttons and
Oh, that's very good.
a couple of them have little wear and
But you just had to figure out the order.
in this particular application there is no order. Any combination, any sequence of those 4 numbers will open. And that's with a lot of
And
applications.
you just saw where
right now.
where the fingers had been on it a lot. Isn't that interesting?
It doesn't take a lot of intelligence to be able to figure things out when you're looking at something like that.
You're selling yourself short. I think it takes a lot of intelligence.
Well, the problem is, if I can think of it and people are putting stuff like that on their house, and I understand the whole purpose of it, so they, in case they lock themselves out or whatever, they have an extra key.
Right.
But if you're utilizing it all the time and it's the same set of numbers and you never change it, well, now you're just opening yourself up to vulnerability, because anybody can just look at and see the wear on that specific set of numbers.
Wow. That's cool.
I love that. That is great.
We're almost out of time. The one thing I want to leave the listeners with is this: that if your home, if you feel like you need more security, a better lock, call Seth at AA Lock, Dock, and Security and get the questions that you have answered regarding that.
And today we are now AA Lock, Dock, and Security and A accredited Lock and Safe.
Oh, really?
We are 2 companies strong now.
So the gun safes everybody has, you can help them with that?
We can do that.
Safes? And the phone number again, 867-1965. Thank you, Seth. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Voting underway in key primaries today, like Ohio, where Governor John Kasich voted in Westerville.
We're going to win. I feel terrific. It's great.
He's locked in a race against Donald Trump in Ohio. Florida, another winner-take-all state for Republicans.
Florida will be very important for Marco Rubio.